Hi, this is Kim Sutton, aka the Math Lady, coming to you from Arcata, California. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the third level of using evens and odds. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see that I recorded the reading of the fabulous book of Even Steven and Odd Todd. Then in the first level lesson, I took my audience through the part where we explored what pictures of evens and odds actually look like. And you'll see all these data sheets on my website in the free section. Then I took it to the level 2 lesson, which was exploring the patterns of adding numbers and whether the sum would be even or odd. And I taught a quick game to be played. In the third level, I want to explore the patterns that occur when you multiply numbers, because this gets into something that can go as far as divisibility rules. So let's get started with our usual I wonder statement. So I wonder what would happen if you roll 2 dice, and instead of adding the numbers, what you rolled become factors. And what you're actually going to analyze is whether the product is even or odd. So let's see what happens. So in the previous lesson, I gave you alternatives for rolling dice. So I'm going to assume you watched the level 2 lesson. You got some ideas for ways if you don't have dice. And I can just carry on with the game. So it doesn't really matter whether you're using playing cards or you're using dominoes or you're using dice. Today I'm going to use my double dice, which is the same as rolling 2 regular dice. So I'm going to make my tea table just like I did in the addition game. I'm going to label the left-hand side with an E and the right-hand side with an O. What I'm rolling are factors. So anytime you hear that F word, that means we're going to multiply. So a factor would be the parts of a multiplication equation before we actually get to the product. So in this game, you're rolling. I rolled a 5 and a 3. So I have to think 5 times 3. Oh, that's right. I know it's 15. Now I have to think, is 15 odd or even? It's an odd product. So I'm going to write my equation in the odd column. Now you can tell we're going to continue to play. So I rolled a 2 and a 6. 2 times 6, oh, that's right. I know it's 12. And 12, I know, is an even number. So that product is even. Now I'm going to continue rolling. Oh, I rolled a 4 and a 5. 4 times 5, that means 4 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 4. Oh, that's right. That would be 20. And 20 is an even number. So I'm going to write that equation in this column. I'm going to continue to roll 6 times 6, 36. What's interesting? Let's see what happens when I roll my 5th time actually. 2 times 6, another 12. A 4 times a 1 gives me 4. Gee, these are interesting outcomes. 1 times a 5. Oh, good. I got an odd number. I'm so glad. Okay, that's 5, 6, 7. My teacher said I got to roll 10 times. 1 times 5 again. Oh, I must not have shaken that up. 2 times 1. 3, 6. Oh, I got one more roll. Got to see whether even Steven or odd Todd wins this game. 3 times 4 is 12. Now, if I roll 10 times, I clearly have a game where even Steven won the game. What's interesting about it is I see some things that are causing me to ponder. Let's take a look at this. This is an even times an even, and my result is even. This is an odd times an odd, and my result is odd. This is an even times an odd, and I got an even. Oh, this is another odd times an odd, and I got an odd. Well, I can tell that these 4 things occurred when I played the game with multiplication. Let's go through this. Even times even. If you're not sure, substitute some numbers in or look back on your results. Odd times an odd. That was clearly the odds. Even times an odd. Odd times an even. Of the 4 events, there is only one way that we can ever get an odd number when we multiply, and that has to be from 2 odd factors. Very, very interesting. Now, I want you to continue to play the game another round. See if you can roll 10 times and get odd Todd to win this game. You can pause it and roll 10 more times. When you're done, come back together because I want to look at the patterns that occur on the multiplication chart. So on my website in the free section, you can download an addition table that's blank and a multiplication table that's blank. Here's the cool thing. When we think about numbers, we want to think about those outcomes and what will occur. When we added, it appears even, odd, even, odd, even. Like that pattern's probably going to continue. Oh, but I also see a repeating pattern. That allows me to be a lazy mathematician when I fill this out. It looks like when you add, half the outcomes are even and half are odd. Now let's take it to our multiplication table because that's what we were exploring in our level 3 game. Starts off a pattern that looks very, very similar to what would happen with addition until we get to the second row or second column. All of a sudden, we can see very different results. When I'm done filling out this table, it appears to me that I'm going to have a whole lot more evens than I have odds. And this goes back to what we found out when we played the game, that there are really only 4 events that can occur when you multiply. The only way you ever get an odd number when you multiply is an odd times an odd. That's big time stuff. And later on, when we talk about our place value pockets, this will become a really, really important lesson as we begin to learn about factoring with numbers. Thank you for listening. Remember, go to the free section on my website, www.creativemathematics.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is under Creative Mathematics, and you'll see lots of goodies that you can use right away. Thanks for listening.